Absolutely. So, for those watching, this is the second round of Meta versus 4th Legion. Meta's attacking now. 4th Legion is defending. Meta had a full DNF on 4th Legion the last round. Let's see if they can pull off a solid attack to follow it up. I have no doubt that they will, given their performance in defense. And their performance in this first engagement. Like we decided, it's all about those engagements, and when even despite the TKs, if you can just steamroll as much as they're doing, you just take that objective. The only death on their team was a TK. That's telling. Alright, I'll just take a second and look at the composition of these teams, see if that has anything to do with it. Meta's going Triple Knight, Vanguard, Man-at-Arms, Archer, and 4th Legion is going Double Knight, Double Vanguard, Double Man-at-Arms, actually.
No Archer.
Interesting.
Yeah, Meta is pretty much, they got your standard TO setup right there. That's what you want.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, they've got the perfect balance of health and utility and Archer. 4th Legion's playing something a bit weird, in my opinion. Especially as a defending team.
I would be interested in 4th Legion's composition on an attacking side.
Yes,
Just if
absolutely.
you were working strategies and you wanted versatility in flinking and whatnot, I would use that.
But as a
But
defending
not
side,
so much for defense, no. You
Yeah.
definitely want more health. You definitely want 3 knights.
absolutely. You need that. You need the staying power that those 3 knights have, because you can stay on the objective, stay alive, and you have the health pool to deal with anything that comes at you while you're on the objective.
Yeah.
Wow, so it's 7 minutes and 30 seconds, and Meta has the card 36%. That's farther than 4th Legion got it at all last round. And looks like 4th Legion's giving it all they've got, and they do get 2 kills, but a TK as well. And Meta just has a bit more manpower at the cart. Oh, the triple feint by Waterboy takes out Heartspur, and that's going to be the objective.
6:53.
Oh my. That is a terrifying time. It's absolutely the peak of efficiency. Right there. Meta taking full advantage of the Agathians in the tunnel, trying to keep them as long as possible so they don't respawn.
If you
My
take a
card's
look
gonna
at
get moving.
the 2v ones that Meta is doing, they've got it down where one player faints while the other attacks.
That is from what I've seen, that is probably the most effective way to 2v1.
That is,
Period.
Exactly, yeah. That's what
Yeah.
all the higher level teams do. And they picked up on it, which is good.
Most definitely. I think, like I said before, it's just the difference between having those a couple experienced players, being able to give your team pointers from, like, a very long time in the competitive community, compared to 4th Legion, who doesn't have a whole lot of those long-standing players.
I mean, don't get it wrong, this is an invitational tournament, but that doesn't mean that everybody invited is on the same tier.
Yeah.
And that's not to be disrespectful or anything to 4th Legion or any other. It's that there are going to be teams who qualify to be in this tournament that are going to be a step above others. And there's reasons for that. And that should not hopefully discourage any of the clans that have participated to coming back and keep going. Because ultimately we want to build this community. And we want everybody to play on equal footing, because that's what makes things interesting.
Absolutely, yeah, I'm totally in agreement with that. Like, I'm not trying to diminish 4th Legion at all. I actually know a couple of their members pretty well, and I like them. They're cool guys. And they definitely have potential, as we saw. Like, they have the strats down, they know what they're doing in the game, they're relatively experienced, they just need to work a little bit on certain skills, and they could definitely get up to that level. Like, when I joined... It's funny, because, like, when I joined Syndicate, that was really the first legitimate competitive team, back when it was Valor, that I had joined, that actually went to tourneys while I was in it. So, but once I got in there, I had already been in 2 other competitive, quote-unquote, clans beforehand. So, no amount of achievement should diminish another person's potential.
Mm-hmm.
They should keep that in mind. And it looks like, in our absence, Meta has moved this cart all the way to the sluice, practically. And it is going in at 13 minutes 54 seconds.
They're using the correct strategy here, keeping 2 people up ahead while the archer stays back and pushes. You see that a lot in the caves when it gets to that point.
And they do break through to the sluice. Let's see if 4th Legion... This could be 4th Legion's objective to hold, because if they just put their whole team's manpower on one objective, they can probably keep it down for at least a little while.
Well, it's not just a matter of that as well. You've got to think, if they lose that single engagement, they have to have people ready to rotate to the other to try and retake.
Absolutely. Like we discussed in another game this morning, the sluice is probably the most sticky objective on this map, just for the fact that it can go south very quickly for both teams, as it just went for 4th Legion, in fact. Yeah.
Yeah, sluice gate's definitely the motivating objective. It's either gonna break your motivation or it's gonna spur you on to keep going.
For sure. That's a really good way of looking at it. And that brings into account something I should actually be mentioning more, is the psychological aspect of this. Like, it's not all about skill, really. Because when we, in the last tourney, when my clan Syndicate, when we were going up against Nemesis, and we were actually doing decently well against them, like, we got spurred on really hard, and we actually did very well against them, despite losing. So, the psychological aspect takes... It's funny because a lot of people don't think about it as much, but it's a really big part of whether or not you win the game.
Mm-hmm.
And the server has been paused. Flame crashed. Haha.
Yeah, he did. Flame's been around for a long time as well. He's been back since the IA days.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
actually recently switched over into meta now that Equilibrium has kind of stopped being a competitive clan.
Mm-hmm. I remember Flame from way long time ago. He is definitely an old dog.
Oh yeah, Flame's great player, good archer, great
Absolutely.
all-around player, honestly. He's a very good duelist. And he is an old dog, he's been around since IA.
The good old days when vanilla didn't suck as hard.
Yeah.
When I was still rank 20-something. I didn't even know what drags were.
It was all just fucking bullshit.
I know, right? It's like, fucking Feiner, let's kick him, guys. That's
I
what
still
every...
get that. FFA
Yeah,
lobbies.
Oh, gosh. Really? I thought that was like console
yeah.
only. Gosh. So sorry.
I don't take it too hard. I mean, it is an FFA pub lobby.
Right. So as expected, Meta has broken through handily at 22 minutes and 15 seconds on the clock. They're just going for a full C flank. And 4th Legion is just not prepared. They've only got 2 defenders with another coming from behind. But Meta's breaking this gate down. I think that the rotation by 4th Legion was really slow for this point. They looked a little bit spread out. Couldn't react fast enough.
Yeah, it's definitely They're definitely being led by the hand here.
I'd say so. I think what ends up distinguishing the very top-tier clans from sort of the moderate, the medium tier is ability to adapt rather than react. So you're prepared when you adapt. You're prepared to go through a course of action when your opponent attempts a strategy. But when you react, you're just kind of going with the flow and doing exactly what your opponent wants you to do to counter them, and that works in their favor.
Absolutely. And that can go as big and vague as team strategy, or that can also break down to like 1v1, 1v2, 1v3 scenarios as well. A lot of times you find yourself in a 1v2, and you have to be ready for that. You can't be unsure.
Absolutely. Yeah, I used to be where whenever I'd get into 1v2, I'd be like, I'm completely and utterly fucked, and I would pretty much curl into a ball and parry until my right mouse button didn't work anymore. But now, I realize it's entirely possible to stand up for yourself in a 2v1. You don't have to kill them, you can just hold out until you get an ally near you or something. But you need to realize in your mind that it's possible and think of solutions to deal with that.
Yeah, and that comes with team chemistry. If you know and you're comfortable and you trust your teammate to be there, then you hold out, they get there, you live, you move on.
Absolutely. And while we speak about strategy and adaptability, 4th Legion is actually holding out somewhat. They still have peasants, family members in CEO, not for long though.
Nope.
Unless they can stop the night! Oh no, that looks like that has
that is
been
game there, yeah.
it.
That was a quick, very quick game.
Damn. I think they had something like 19 minutes. 1829.
1829.
Dang. I've seen only 1 or 2 better times than that. Quite the achievement for meta. Oh yeah, very good match. Foreign Legion put up a